Okay, NBA media tier list. A couple things. You might notice that there's no commentators like Mike Breen, Doris Burke, Chris Webber. That's going to be its own video. Also, I could have done a million media members. I decided to have a cutoff. Just the most well-known people, pretty much. Anyway, let's start. We're just going to go in order as it is. Let's start with Shannon Sharpe. Shannon, I think his best trait is he speaks from the viewer's perspective when he's talking to Skip, and I think there is value in that. Also, he's funny, so I feel like giving Shannon a B. I think that's fair. Max Kellerman, I think Max, he's amazing when it comes to boxing. I'm not really a boxing guy. I think he tries too hard to be the TV talking head guy, whereas I think deep down he could be more of like a level-headed, nuanced sort of guy, but, you know, it's television, that's how it is. So I'll probably give Max like a C, although the Iguodala take might make him a D, to be honest. It's the greatest moment in the history of ESPN, besides some other moments probably. I don't know. I'll give Kellerman a C for now, we'll see. Bill Simmons. So I think at parts of his career, Bill Simmons would be an S, if we're talking like 10 years ago or something, or when he was writing. Now he's mainly just doing the podcast, and I think Bill, like, sometimes his takes are pretty alright. Even if I disagree with him, that's fine. But I also think sometimes he gets way too caught up in certain cliches, like bad stats or good stats, bad team guy. Like, he was the leader of the Trae Young and Devin Booker actually suck club for a long time. And the entire time it was just like, well, those guys are good. It's just the teams around him are not the best. So that's kind of annoying. I also think occasionally he acts like he's being a nuanced take guy, but he's really just being a Boston homer, which, to be fair, everyone is guilty of in some regards. I just feel like with Bill, sometimes it happens a little bit more. So I'm kind of feeling like a C, but at the same time, I actually listen to Bill's podcast semi-regularly, so maybe I'll bump him up to a B. C+, I don't know. We'll put him there for now. Colin Cowherd. I gotta be honest, I think Colin Cowherd is, like, not interesting at all. I don't think that guy watches basketball. I gotta be honest, I'm just gonna give Cowherd a D. Maybe he's better when it comes to other sports, and I just don't care about Colin Cowherd, sorry. Stephen A. Smith, you could go a million different directions with this one. I think, you know, Stephen A., he's just a yelling guy on TV. Yeah, he carries the hell out of ESPN until Scott Van Pelt goes on with SportsCenter pretty much. And even then, they need Stephen A. Smith there. Probably a C. I don't know. Like, when it comes to actual basketball takes, I don't really care about what Stephen A. has to say. If we go to Shaq, I gotta be honest, I think Shaq made Inside the NBA worse. He occasionally makes it better, but most of the time he's just kind of mumbling and repeating whatever Kenny and Chuck sort of said, but in a cliche kind of way. I don't remember how often he's had like actual basketball takes about rotations and defensive stuff and should a team switch, should they double a guy, whatever. Not that I'm like some genius at that stuff, but I think I'd put more of an effort in than Shaq does. And of course, he occasionally gets super defensive about things. I'm going to give him a D. I think Shaq's just not good on television, outside of occasionally being funny. Kenny, I'm going to give Kenny a B. I like Kenny. I think he's probably the most level-headed guy on Inside the NBA. He's still funny as hell. He's not as funny as Chuck, but he's still pretty funny. And the whole big board thing, while I do think it's really annoying how they keep doing the whole who's going to run to the board thing every single night, because it's like, guys, it's been 4 years. You guys are funny on your own. You don't need the big board thing. The big board itself is all right. You know, some actual like takes, some plays. Not that I always agree with what he's saying, but the effort's there, and I think that's cool. So yeah, I like Kenny. Kendrick Perkins, D. He's the worst guy on television. He flat out sucks. I don't know what his opinion actually is on everything because it changes every day. I think he's terrible. I don't know why he's on ESPN, and I think he's making NBA media worse. There you go. Nick Wright. Similar to Stephen A., I could go many directions with Nick Wright. My gut is probably a C. I don't know. I feel like Nick Wright, he's kind of similar to Max Kellerman, where it's like, I feel like deep down he's got some real nuanced, level-headed, caring about the minute details of things stuff, which usually comes out on podcasts, but he does the TV thing where it's like, I've got to have the super loud take of Chris Paul is actually the MVP over Jokic, where it's like, no, he's not, bro. Also, while I do agree with him on LeBron being better than MJ all time, I feel like half of his reasoning sucks. His pinned tweet where he's like, oh, MJ was actually overrated because of this, this, and this. It's a really bad tweet, and it's got like 20,000 likes, and I don't get it. So I'm probably going to give him a C. Also, he's randomly a Celtics hater, and I really don't like it at all. Let's see. Now we have Candace Parker. This picture, of course, famous for her explaining to Shaq how pick and rolls work. I'm not going to put Candace in the D category. Candace Parker, I think, is very good at analyzing stuff. Could she be a little more entertaining? I mean, maybe, but I also think the crew that she's on there for with Inside the NBA on the Tuesday nights or whatever, her, D. Wade, that guy who's not Ernie, and Shaq, they just don't have the chemistry of Chuck and Kenny and them, so it's not as funny. But I think she's good at what she does. I think she has potential to be better. I'm going to give her a B. Honestly, this is like I could picture her being an A if she just had more of an opportunity. I think she's on NBA TV, but I don't really watch NBA TV, so she's a B. She does a good job. Malika Andrews, she got thrown into the NBA Finals thing, and it all happened really fast. And I think she kind of knocked it out of the park. I mean, I think her interviews are good. I think she gets interesting answers out of players. I think she has been good when I've heard her on podcasts. She was on the Lowe Post and stuff back during the bubble, and she always had interesting things to say. And I think she could kind of be like the heart of ESPN getting their crap together in terms of the halftime show, the pregame show, and all that. If they have her do it, they have a lot of work to go there. But I think she's really good. I'm going to give her an A. I think Malika Andrews is great, and I think she can, she can just be the head of NBA coverage at ESPN for a long time. Skip Bayless. What do I do with Skip? I swear, there's people who would give Skip an S. There's people who would give him a D. There's people who would put him way down here. I'm going to give Skip a D. I will give Skip this. I think he's all right when he's not talking about like LeBron or whoever else. When he doesn't have an opportunity to be a hater, I think he's okay. But he always finds a way to be a hater. Like, it's some random Tuesday, and it's just like, this is why LeBron sucks. And it's like, all right, bro, we get it. And I will give him credit. He is very self-aware at this point about, like, the gist of what he does. And obviously the guy gets clicks, but I hate hearing the guy talk about basketball. Kevin O'Connor at The Ringer. This might be the deepest cut here, quote-unquote deepest cut, I guess. I'll give KOC an A. I think KOC is great. His podcast with Chris Vernon is awesome. The Mismatch, they do it twice a week. The Draft Guide is good. I am not an NBA draft person. I try to catch up when the draft coverage starts happening. I go to his Draft Guide, and it's really good. He's got the Ringer YouTube channel where he puts videos on as well. I think he's kind of the MVP of the Ringer, to be honest with you. As far as why KOC is not S tier, I don't know. Just gut feeling, give him an A. Charles Barkley. So analysis-wise, I think Chuck is a little in the past. I think he complains too much about the modern game, a bit too much. I also think he's a little too anti-three-pointer. That said, he's very entertaining, and I do think he still brings some interesting perspectives, even if he's not specifically mentioning like pick-and-roll coverages and stuff. So I'm going to give Chuck a B. I think, he's the funniest dude in NBA media. I think we're all going to agree with that one. Now we have Zach Lowe, a.k.a. the only S tier. Zach Lowe, to me, is the perfect blend of getting analytics, but not basing everything he thinks on analytics. I think he's great at just simply talking to people. The Low Post podcast is, of course, amazing. It really bums me out that he is now on behind a paywall for his articles on ESPN. That's not his fault. That's just an ESPN decision. And maybe he's got more potential on television. We'd have to see. I'm pretty sure The Jump got canceled, so I don't know if that's going to happen, but Zach is great. Next, we have Woj. I kind of want to put Woj and Shams in the same thing because I think in some ways they're the same person. I mean, Shams does those Twitter videos with really bad lighting, and it just annoys the crap out of me all the time. Woj takes like 5 tweets to explain a trade. Like the other day, it was the Nuggets coach leaving or whatever, the guy legitimately had like 7 tweets on the thing. It was so annoying. Like, Woj, we get it, okay? I'll give them both a B. I mean, they're fine. I don't really look to them for analysis. Not that they can't provide it. It's just, they're just doing their job, putting the news out there, calling it a day. Finally, we have Taylor Rooks. I'm going to give Taylor an A. I think she's a great interviewer. I think she gets more out of NBA players than the average interview. She's also really good at talking smack, if you've seen the Take It There show a bit. The only thing that's hurt her is that, for pretty obvious reasons, over the last about year and a half, she has not been able to do her show in person. It's had to be on webcam and stuff, and I do think that takes some of the stuff out of the show. But yeah, she's good. So there you go. This is the list. NBA media, for anybody I forgot, apologies. I am going to put Bill in B tier. Like, I'm looking at it now. I can't have Bill down, like, at the same thing as Max Kellerman. It doesn't make me feel good. We're going to put Bill in B tier. And, yeah, that's it.